From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Bout That Life podcast with your host, Coach C. Collins and Coach MJ.
Get it started. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, welcome to Bout That Life podcast. I'm Coach C. Collins.
Coach MJ, GGT.
And we welcome you to our show. If you've been watching, you've been listening, I know on the audio side, I've been seeing we're getting a steady stream of people checking us out. If you're checking us out on the YouTube side, thank you as well. If you're hearing us on the audio side, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. Again, we talk a little bit of AAU basketball, a little bit of life, a little bit of everything, for the culture of the game, people who have a passion for the game, from different walks of life. Obviously, we've had movie directors like Deion Taylor on the show. We've had AAU directors. We've had referees. We've had former players. We've had
rappers,
rappers like an artist. We just want to. We all share a passion for basketball. We all have our own outlook, but the premise of the show is to show people out there what you could become outside of this game and how it could translate to everything else you do. So, without further ado, let's get through our sponsors to get to our guests. So, my first sponsor, shout out to you. Dr. Dish, best shooting machine on the market. Go ahead and check them out. They got the All-Star, the Rebel, different versions like that. I use them personally in my gym. Tell them About That Life sent you. They'll hook you up with a discount. Also, if you're looking for AAU tournaments, go ahead and check out Hardwood Palace out here in Rockland, California. They have recreation with hardwood hoops. They also have AAU tournaments every weekend. They have really high competitive teams to even, kind of developmental teams. They have a good fit for all you guys, so please feel free to check them out. Now, with that out the way, let me get to my guests. Well, I shouldn't say solely my guest. It's Mark's guest.
Yeah, no, About That Life guest. All right. A GGT member.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to introduce Oscar. I love this.
What's up? My name's Oscar. This is my brother G. He can introduce himself. What's up? Thank you guys for having me. Yeah.
No problem. Before we get into everything, he's an artist. I've heard some of your music. I do my research before guests come on. So you have one song that I think was doing really well, maybe one or two. I remember hearing it on your Instagram before. Yeah,
that's like at 28 right now, at 28,000.
For the music video.
Yeah. And then how's everything? Like, I'm assuming like streams. Is that one of your top songs right now, or
streaming wise? Yeah, it's one of my top songs. But lately, from the last project that I dropped, that's been doing better. Yeah, than the single.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Right now, that was still like the top one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, appreciate you being on the show. Before we delve into your history, well, hold on. Let me give you my formal applause. I almost forgot. My fault. Got to get the crowd reaction.
Welcome to the show.
But before we delve into your career and your aspirations for that side of it, why don't we talk about you two's connection and your history with basketball and your love for it, and tell us your journey. How did you get here?
Yeah. So we met Mark when I was going into freshman year. My brother was he had just got back from playing professional basketball, and he was trying to get a trainer, and we met Mark, and honestly, since we met him, it was just like you could tell he had that drive,
Yeah.
And we just started working out with him consistently. And
how long has it been? Was it like 4 or 5 years? Has it been?
It's been like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years
ago.
But it was like, like in the, I remember if you remember that gym, remember you and Marcus came.
Yeah, I remember
we did like a video out there in Davis. That was like the first gym.
I remember that.
I had a chance to kind of start my training stuff when I first moved out here. Like I said, G was still playing professionally in Mexico.
Nice.
I trained him and I trained him.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to go back.
Yeah.
For my Achilles.
Oh, man. I know that injury. Trust me too well. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he was training, he working with you.
Yeah, he was helping me. I was trying out for the freshman team, and I was training with my brother too.
At which high school? Because
I was born in Woodland.
Okay.
Raised in Sacramento, but I still went to high school in Woodland. So Pioneer High School. I went to Woodland High School freshman year, and then I transferred to Pioneer during sophomore rest of the year, or for the rest of high school. But during freshman year, at Woodland High, we were trying to prep me up to, make the freshman team at the time because I had been playing baseball all my life leading up to that.
All right.
And but yeah, Mark got me right. I was as a freshman, had me starting. So
I got some old school videos. You know what I'm saying? I got some stuff in back from 2019.
2018.
You were saying it was like before.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Sure.
And then, so, you fast forward after high school. Obviously, I'm assuming you still love basketball. You still have a passion for it, but obviously your career trajectory is going in a different path. When for you did you kind of decide this is, what you rather pursue or what you want to do?
What I want to do, yeah. It was really, it started off because I've always been, I grew up around music and I've played instruments since a young age.
Nice.
And it started off during COVID. I was messing around just making beats.
Yeah.
I was during online school, right? So instead of being in my online classes, I was always just making beats, just spending all my days just getting good at it, just making beat after beat. And it got to the point where I started getting artists to use them, getting placements, some bigger artists like from Sacramento, just starting to get my name out there. And eventually it became it got to the point where I was sending out my beats and I wasn't really liking what the artists were doing to them. So I was just man, I think
I'm gonna do this shit myself.
I was I think I could approach this better, So it just started off making songs for fun, just messing around with it, having fun with it, and experimenting. And then eventually it turned into something where we had a song and it was just I can't hold on to this. I can't just keep this to myself.
Right.
But yeah, and then eventually, fast forward 7 months ago, going on 7 months ago, I dropped my first single.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
What was the name of it?
Hayden. That was the one. Hayden.
Okay.
I dropped my first single.
And I think that's the one I heard. Yeah. I'm 90% sure that was the one I heard. It was a good song.
Thank you. Yeah. But
I think the biggest story I remember when they told me I think you told me it was during COVID and was it a keyboard? I think your brother. Their other brother, Mondo, I guess, was he in the military during that time?
So yeah, he was serving his last year. And, no, he was in the military. Yeah, he was serving his last.
This was
year.
before you made beats, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to the story. This is crazy.
Mondo, the middle brother.
Yeah,
he ordered a MIDI keyboard to make beats on.
Yeah,
and he was trying to order it to his house in Texas, right?
Right.
But he accidentally ordered it to our house.
Yeah,
bro, that's just crazy.
And so I was that was during the online school time. So I had this keyboard and it came with a free program of it's called Ableton Lite.
Yeah.
So basically it's a program you can make beats on. And
okay.
So that was how it all started because I told him I was hey, this keyboard came with your name on it, and he was at first he was oh yo, can you ship that back out to me? And I was just yeah, I was all right, yeah. But
it never quite happened.
It was already open,
right?
And he was just nah, you can keep it, bro. I'll get another one,
and that's crazy if you think about it. It's if that would have went to Texas, there's no hating, there's no singles, there's no Ramey, there's no. I mean, I feel at the end of the day because. Right.
That's how it works. I mean,
so yeah, man, that's a blessing.
Like we talked about before the show, you know, with getting this facility. Just things happen for a reason. You know what I mean?
Serendipities.
So, you're in a very competitive sport, as you know. Being an artist is it's probably just as equally as competitive as basketball, right?
Cutthroat,
and it's a young man's sport. On top of that, you know what I mean. Of course, you got your DMXs who really got big when he was 30 something or whatever. But I'm just saying, for the most part, it's a young man's game. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you figured out you're gonna have to work pretty damn hard at this. You know, what keeps you going? What makes you? You know, I mean, I would assume you love it, but it's got to be more than just that, right?
Yeah, I really believe that this is something that I can manifest into something really big that could eventually, change not only my life but my family's life and overflow into, become something bigger more than just for myself, And I think if as long as I keep pushing that and staying consistent with what I'm trying to do, then eventually, like, you know, eventually it'll happen.
Yeah. I mean,
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
all it takes is one.
Yes.
You get one great hit and keep it going from there. I mean,
You got a lot. They don't even know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the thing for him too is he produces.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
a whole different, you know, like there's artists, but then there's also producers.
Right.
Artists, producers. Is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that he didn't mention was like I think the whole thing kind of when he got a Young and Ace placement when it hit the top of the charts in Apple Music for like
number
a week.
10, yeah.
Yeah, and he was still in high school.
Nice.
He was a senior in high school,
That's
and
good.
you know we had to sign off for him to get his money. You know what I mean?
'Cause
And I think that's for me, just from a third perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's when it kind of hit him, like, oh snap, like I could do this, like, and get paid for it.
Yes. Yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah, it's true.
No, that's good. I mean, so let me see. Just make sure I got my ducks in a row. How has him being in your life and, you know, some of the things he's taught you, how has that impacted you and helped you, you know, progress and build the cornerstones for yourself?
He's definitely given me like a perspective of what actually needs to be done to get to the level you want to be, because I see all the work that the athletes put in order to get to a certain level, and like it's not we don't do this just for fun.
Yeah,
Like we do it
you're
for
right.
fun because we love it, but it's
Yeah.
like, you know, you're really dedicating a lot of time.
No sleep sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. And it's just the mentality of just also keep going, like even through just keep going, you know. And yeah, it's just helped me just stay motivated. Even just being around him when he talks to his athletes, he gives them life advice of just like,
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do.
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. So it's definitely helped with my work ethic. I feel like too, like being consistent, you know, and like even like seeing how much he emphasizes like repetition too. It's just because, you know, it's like chopping wood, you know.
Yeah.
It's like chopping wood. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and the easier it becomes, you know.
You're only 18. You're only 18.
Right.
So 10 years from now, when you're 28, it's like,
you put in the work.
and that's one of the things that I love about him and like his family, like them, you know, like one thing that we haven't brought up is like, you know, like there's no GGT Productions without them, you know, like G is my business partner. I mean, in a way, like they're both my business partner from a standpoint, like they were with me from the beginning. I've seen before the music, you know, to see where, you know, we was trying to make him a killer, you know, on the court, you know what I'm saying? And I know that at the end of the day, he's taken a lot of those life lessons from his brother being a professional athlete, playing in Mexico, going through the things, meeting me and me sharing my story, me training him and him being around Marcus Jopi, who's a high jumper at Kansas State, being around Myron Amy, going one-on-one against Myron and Jaden and Noah and all these kids who just like him, where, you know, we've had MJ on the show and Kendall, he was in the trenches with those kids. So
Nice.
to see him now is very inspiring for me, because like, of course, I know that, you know, he looks, because me and his brother, we are older, we've gone through life. I know we are leading by example, but even with somebody like him, which, you know, even though he's young, like that also kind of motivates me, which is to me what I said, like when you have a kid where there's a lot of very talented kids, right? And again, there's different genres, different styles, you know.
Yeah.
For me, with him, he's like you know, we say this a lot. He's sticking to the blueprint of how to do it the right way to go along with his talent, how he's guided, the environment that he's in. Like he's doing it the right way.
Good.
And at the end of the day, I feel like if he keeps doing what he's supposed to do, then yeah, like I said, he's gonna show that everybody, no matter of background where you're from, if you really work hard at what you love, just like me and you know what I'm saying, just like his brother and everybody else, and then yeah, like I said, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be successful in life.
Man, one thing I've learned, especially, and it's just me talking, period, as a OG looking at the evolution of music and hip hop and everything else, like, you know, your background don't matter, man. It's if you master your craft and people like it, you'll be just fine.
Nope.
Drake was from Canada.
Yeah.
And-
An actor on the grass.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Like it don't matter, man. Just as long as you got a passion for it and do it the right way, I think you'll be fine.
Sure.
So, what would you say for yourself? Like, what would you identify as? What would you call your music, or what audience are you trying to tap into? Right?
It's very hip hop. Like I think I do tap into like the R&B side too, hip hop R&B, and yeah, like just around there. Yeah, I like to produce.
Okay.
I really like to produce everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I don't. I try not to stick too much to that because I feel
Right.
like you can put yourself in a box sometimes.
You can.
So, you know, I stay in that lane, but it's really, you know, it's a lot of everything.
You have any favorite artists for yourself, or any artists like if you had a dream artist you could work with? You have any you've thought of?
J. Cole, like growing up, my brothers just a lot of J. Cole.
Nice.
You know, I mean, eventually I see myself working with Drake. I see myself
Yeah.
working with Justin Bieber.
Speak it to existence.
I see myself working with, you know.
That'd be great.
You know, I think.
Because like I said, I had the first interview.
For real. Hey, for real. That's why we got them on.
Right? No, that's
No,
good.
but I believe that if I keep just locking in and staying focused, then that's an achievable goal, you know.
No, I agree. I
And
mean,
even if it's not to the point where I'm like on the song with them, but in the room producing for them, like, cause I think that's one advantage I have as an artist is that like if I'm not saying like as an artist it won't work out, but if it didn't work out, I always have the producing side that I can like lean on and push. Like, you know, you can still make money as a producer. And
Boy, you got skills too. You got skills.
that's what's up. No, that's good. I mean, so have you thought, like, in terms of, and I'm sure, you know, you being a big brother and stuff, you might have talked to him about this stuff, but like in you know, investing and making some moves for yourself, you know, kind of like investing in the equipment and things like that. I only speak on that because,
Yeah, 1,000%.
as you can see, you're living in something, or not living, you're around something I just invested my life into. You know what I mean? So I just wonder if you thought of those type of things too.
1,000%. Yeah, like the first, the Young and Ace placement, the first music check I ever got, it was like $1,300, right? $1,300. I bought a mic, a brand new mic, some new headphones, like an interface. I was just like, okay, let's get it popping.
Yeah, people don't know, man. You got to invest in yourself. That's one big
100%.
thing. So then I want to talk a little basketball from your side of it, and of course your side of it too. So mainly a big part of obviously this show, or the premise of this show, is AAU basketball, right? I talk culturally about AAU basketball, especially for our listeners. Obviously, they know we're tapped into that world. And the cool part is, I will say, there are a lot of people that actually listen to this show, and actually, it surprises me sometimes. But there's actually people like I go to a tournament in the Bay, or some people will come up to me, "Hey, man, I love your show." I'm like, "Oh,
That's awesome.
thanks." You know, it's surreal for me, because I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna be real. He knows I talk about it all the time on the show. This is kind of my therapy. I get to just sit and talk basketball and talk a little mess, and you know, I throw a few people under the bus, but I try not to do it too much. But no, like all I try to speak is just the reality of what I see, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people can agree, disagree, and that's fine. Again, I'm fine with people disagreeing with me. I think I've challenged people plenty of times to come on the show, disagree with me. They won't do it, but I'm curious. I'm always curious from like a younger man like yourself's perspective, from someone who's outside of it, right? Because I remember, like, when we had Kai on the show, we talked about, you know, what do you see in AAU now that you're out of it, right? And you know, my side of it, it's crazy. It's the Wild West. But I'm just curious, what are your thoughts, good, bad, and different, when it comes to AAU basketball? If you know, seen enough of it.
I've seen one thing I've noticed is, I don't know if it's become like a cool thing in my generation to be like super nonchalant and like not try hard. You know, like not try hard. Yeah, you too cool to try hard. Like, and it's like what are you doing out there then? You know what I mean? But I see a lot of that's one thing that I've noticed, is just like, I don't know if that's like a thing in my generation. It's cool to be like not try hard,
I don't know, man. I think it's highlight culture.
Oh,
That's what I blame it on. And again, I said it last episode. I say it again. No knock on any of the highlight companies. I don't knock Simply, Ball is Life, Overtime, whatever. Dude, make your money. Like, this is a capitalist society. If you find a niche, make your money, right? But, you know, you got kids who are playing for highlights as opposed to playing the game and just getting highlights, right? That's what I'm noticing anyway. And
there's a lot of young talent though. There's like seen a lot of young like crazy talent. There's like that like I can't even imagine being like 12 years old, like
right.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of talent, but yeah, you know, yeah.
You got any thoughts on that one?
I mean, how about for you? Like when you were you played AAU, do you feel like let me ask you this, like, because we were just talking about one of my players, right, who's from the area, right, of Solano, Yolo County. For you, you know, and of course G as well, what would you guys, and I'm not from this area, what would you guys say from your perspective, the difference, whether it's mindset, athleticism, maybe lack of resources from the areas like Woodland, Dixon, Winters, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even Davis. I mean, Davis is big. They got money. But and then you come out here, Sacramento, and you got facilities like this. We don't got none of that. In Vacaville, Davis, Dixon. For you guys, you know, you guys are born and raised here, you know, and I feel like it's good that you guys are here. We can start that conversation.
I feel like that's a loaded question.
We got all night.
That's a loaded question because, like, I felt this way for a long time. When I came back from playing college basketball, I wanted to coach in Woodland. It didn't work out. I tried, and I ended up like leaving because I didn't want to be associated with losing, to be honest with you. And I wasn't running things the way I wanted to, so I was like, because I was trying to do it from like the sidelines, you know. I didn't want to take the whole head coaching responsibility, which is a lot to be a head coach. Mark and I tried to coach an AAU team. What was that?
During COVID.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah, I remember. He was helping. I remember that.
Him before we started. I said, "This is some shit you don't really know."
He told me too.
I told him, "I'll go with you, bro, but don't count on me full time." Because so I'll let you know when after ARC, I played at ARC. I got I only had a couple schools after AR. Asking about me. I ended up going to NAIA in South Dakota.
Okay.
And then after I played there, I still had a semester left, so they offered me a position as an assistant coach, like a grad assistant. Basically. They gave me the title of like player development.
Right.
So I actually got to see like firsthand what a college coach really goes through. Like his mortgage is on the line. Of us winning and losing. You know what I mean? He's staying up. We're coming back on the bus, and he's watching the game film. You know what I mean? And as a player, I would sit in the back, and I'd be like, man, fuck, coach is tripping. This and that.
But
and
now
then
you see
coming back, and I'm just like, dude, this dude's not gonna sleep tonight. He's gonna wake up early. He's gonna come up with the game plan on how to fix that. We're gonna address it in practice, and some of these kids are gonna fuck up, and he's gonna be pissed.
Exactly.
Like I already knew what was gonna happen.
But at least you see it.
I saw that. So coming back, like I had like such a different perspective. And growing up, because I grew up in Woodland, and the only AAU basketball I really knew was Oakland Soldiers, Bay Area Hoosiers. And then I knew there were some teams out here in Sacramento. I think there was like the Pharaohs. I don't even remember.
That was. Yep,
you know,
Pharaohs
and
was
then,
there.
and then like Spirit of the North were like the ones that I remember. And then I got lucky because I trained with Gus. My dad met Gus.
Shout out Gus Armstead, the OG.
And my dad like put me there, and for somehow I ended up on Phil Handy's AAU team.
Nice.
Flying out to freaking Vegas, and that was like, you know, my first really experience of like playing that AAU circuit, and it was fun. I loved it. I did really good. I had Portland State coach come up to me and ask me for my ACT, SAT scores. I was like, I don't know what that is. and this is why I really love Mark and what he's doing, because if I would have had someone like Mark around when I was younger, like I would have been like, oh, you know, 4.0 is cool because now I can get accepted to schools. I didn't know that shit. I thought I came from a generation, well, it was dumb, We thought someone was going to take the test for us. Someone was going to pass our class. Someone was going to... It's so delusional. Yeah. And I had no one tell me different.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I watch AAU basketball now, and I think to myself, like... I don't know, what is it, like gaslighting? Some of these coaches let these kids just do some stuff, and it's just like, man, you need to teach these kids how to play defense.
Yeah.
You need to stop what you're doing.
Right.
Do layup lines and shell defense.
Mind of a coach.
Right, and that's it,
Well, you saw in my practice.
Right,
like,
I loved it.
Hey, they was moving. I was like, okay.
And then what you told them about, we're not going to let them rush us. We just want to break the press and then take our time and run the offense. That's a concept they're still teaching in college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, learn that.
And I try to teach it in, an AAU setting, right? And it's
like... to get the kids ready for college.
Exactly. And that's kind of the flip side of it, because what I've realized doing this, there's high school coaches that don't necessarily teach this stuff. I assumed they did, but I found out they didn't, because I get the kids after their high school seasons and they don't know shit. Like some of my kids... Some of those 16U kids that came to me today, they didn't understand help side defense. I'm having to kind of teach these things that I'm assuming, like, you're a sophomore in high school. How did you not learn this? Right. And then, again, like even teaching the concept of 0.5 basketball, just make a decision and go. Like, stop with all the extra, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, you can't stop. Like, because again, like what I try to tell the kids is you're trying to emulate where you're trying to go. I said, if you watch March Madness and you don't see all this ISO ball, why are you doing that on the showcase? Like, college coaches they're not stupid. They're going to realize, like, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want that in my program.
They're basketball junkies.
Yeah.
They geek out on this stuff, man. Today we had, I won't say his name, but we had one of the kids I was working with, a really good shooter.
Yeah.
The best shooters in the county,
Yeah.
I think so. And one of the things when I watched him play all season was like he would just hide in the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that plenty of times.
Hide in the corner because, the coach also sometimes doesn't teach them, like, and I told him, bro, as a shooter, have you ever heard, like, if you set a good screen,
yes,
you're gonna get a good shot. So anyways,
he didn't know about that.
Right. And he's a senior. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway.
It's tough. No, you're
shout out to Matt Kosu, Davis High School. You know what I'm saying? One of the best shooters in the county. About that life.
Man, it's tough, man. Like, trying to find this balance between coach, because again, like my coaching style, I could tell you, I'm not an in-between coach. Either kids love me or hate me, right? But and parents too. But I'm gonna be honest with you, you know what I mean, and give my honest opinion and teach the game at least the way I think it should be taught the right way, like Matt was last episode.
And that's why you guys are successful.
Try. That's what I'm saying. Because even speaking of that, and just kind of segueing into a little bit of that, so my 16U was supposed to be like really good this year, and unfortunately, it kind of fell apart a little bit. Like, I still obviously have my team, but like I lost a lot of my heavy hitters, right? And that's something I was going to get your guys' perspective on. So I lost Eli Willis. He went to Yellow Jackets. That was the kid from Whitney, the Polynesian kid, really athletic. He decided to go to Yellow Jackets. I guess they're telling him they're going to give him a scholarship to USC or something. I mean, I don't, whatever. Directors and coaches are going to say whatever. And then I lost Mark to Jalen Green Elite. I lost Muhammad, I think, to either Soldiers or Jalen Green Elite. I had these two kids from Capital. Lost them because their varsity coach wanted them to go play somewhere else or whatever. Then I lost Titus and Chad. Not 100% sure why. I mean, I think their parents were saying I was cursing the kids out, which objectively wasn't true. I listened to the tape. I didn't curse their kid out. Like I said, get your shit together. Like, you need to play defense. But, apparently that, and I coached them freshman year. So it's like, it's the same. If anything, I was nicer this year than last year. But, I mean, this is what I'm saying. In this AAU culture, there seems to be no loyalty at all. It really is about salesmanship more than development at times. It's always about who can get them the gear, who can tell them, I got this college, this college. I have plenty. Let me make this disclaimer clear because this is just me on a side note. I have plenty of college contacts, like straight up, because I was a JC coach. So I was at ARC. So I have plenty of Division IIIs, NAIs, D1s, D2s, JCs. I got plenty of that. But I'm not going to make a phone call for you unless I really feel you're ready for, you know what I mean? Like, but so many of these coaches are telling these kids, you know, oh, you're athletic, you can dunk, and you know, you're going to make my team look great. I'm going to call this. I'm going to have D1s ready to, you know, give you an offer as a sophomore. Like, how much sense does that make? If we're really looking at the perspective of college right
nowadays, with the portal.
You have the transfer portal, you have JC, you have prep school, you have high school seniors and juniors, but somehow as a sophomore, you're going to get D1 offers. So I'm like, whew, well, I can't say no, that's not going to happen because I don't know if you got that kind of power and that kind of pull. You got that kind of juice, hey, more power to you. But I have some good influence with my college coaches, but I ain't got that kind of influence.
Yeah.
There's not one sophomore, not one, that I'm going to get a D1 offer. That's just not going to happen. Yeah. So I don't know. I was just curious your guys' perspective with this whole culture of AAU of no loyalty, everybody renegade, everybody's for themselves. In a team sport, that's what doesn't make sense to me. You play a team sport, but all you're worried about is yourself. Why not do an individual sport? That's always what I say. Do boxing, do track, do golf, do tennis. Like, then it's all about you, right? Yeah. But in a team sport in AAU, it's become a very much me-centric mindset. Yeah. So if you guys got any thoughts, feel free to open up about that one.
Boy, venting today.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, my thoughts, it's like, it's not just AAU basketball. It's like that with it's society.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different podcast, I think.
You are right. You are right.
But as far as like AAU goes, I mean, salesmen.
It's tough, yeah. I mean, you guys, like you said, you experienced some of that with your AAU.
Yeah, man. That's why I don't want to do it again, man.
Period.
Like, nah. And that's why I give you a lot of credit.
Training in AAU is different.
Yes, the training world is way different.
For sure. And yeah, that COVID year, I will never forget.
I warned them.
You know what I'm saying?
I warned them.
You know, the relationships I built with certain parents kind of, not that it changed, but, you know, I had a different perspective. But
right.
I don't know, man. I feel like, it's tough. It goes back to, you know, even the conversation we had last time with Matt, you know, about the transfer portal, even with the AAU stuff. You got to adapt. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I feel like, you know, like what you were saying with some of the kids who are not playing with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Whether, you know, it's you got to move on. They got to move on. And at the end of the day, it's like.
I wish them all the best. It's just, obviously
it's not the right fit. It's not the right fit.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And I feel like the kids that are still here, you know what I'm saying, and that you're continuing to develop, I'm assuming for you, you're seeing those seeds grow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I know at the end of the day, like this YBA does what they're supposed to do. So
I'll do my best. What do you think? You being the young guy here, you fresh removed from all that. What do you think?
I think it goes back to like the being me centric. Like a lot of like it's bad. I think, but it also goes to like social media. I think the way my generation grew up with social media has to do a lot with it. Because like I remember kids having phones in like 5th grade, like 4th grade. Like you already had a Snapchat.
It's true.
Like an Instagram. So I'm just like, I think that has to do a lot with just the way that my generation thinks and just moves now. But it also goes back to a lot of business, you know, like
in the music, do you see that?
Switching up. Oh man, it's like it's bad in the music industry. It's like
no loyalty
at all. Like you can make us. I'm not gonna say names.
That's fine. That's fine.
There's times where I've worked with artists. Like we're in the same room. Like we work on a song together, have a finished product, and it's like some crazy, right? Yeah. And then you go couple like later, they're talking about, oh, my label, I want to put this on my project, but we can't like have a certain artist. We can have you on there. Like people will take you off, and then it's just like nobody like it's.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's cutthroat.
That's what I was gonna say. The comparison with the music life, because again, I don't know that world, but just from observing it and talking to enough artists, it sounds like if you don't have everything recorded, everything copyrighted, everything, like people will take your stuff.
1,000%. And
go ahead.
I think you can go, bro.
No, I was gonna say you've experienced exactly that.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, 1,000%. I've had people try to sell my beats to other people. Like I had someone like try to buy like a lease from my beat and sell it to somebody else, and then that person ended up putting a song with it, and then I'm just like, yo, you gotta take this down. I gotta go get it copyrighted. And they're just like, nah, bro, I paid for this beat, and I was like, you didn't pay me, so
oh man.
So it's like, yeah, no, but it's cutthroat. The music industry, people are very, they're really only, it's a lot of people are only really looking out for themselves, and it's like I think if you really try to make, the best way to do it, I really think, is just add value to the community. Like if I'm working with the artist and I'm sending him beats constantly, and I know he's gonna do something crazy with it, like, you know, you keep building that, like, you know, that relationship and keep building your network like that. But when a lot of artists are like very self-centered and it's just like that you can't really go. I think like it won't really last long. You know what I mean? Because you'll end up like burning bridges with connections if you trying to act too cool, or like trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like I think in the long run it doesn't work out well, you know?
Trying to chase a scholarship as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. How do you think you balance between the marketing side, right? Because you got to market yourself to a degree, right? You know, and staying true to kind of who you are. Like, or if you are, I mean, I assume you found a good balance of both. You sound like you're basically an independent artist, which is a good spot to be in, obviously. But, you know, let's say a major label comes at you and says, hey, we want you to do a couple things like that. I mean, it's the reality of it. Don't matter if it's sports, it don't matter if it's music. There's a level of exploitation, give and take. You know what I mean? Like, look at the NBA, obviously. You know, there's a level of it. Have you kind of prepared yourself for those moments, or had any thoughts about those type of things?
Yeah, 1,000%. And I think the best way to approach it is like build your own catalog first and have leverage. So when the labels come to you, it's like, I already have my fan base growing, and it's like you guys can. It's like I can continue to build this without you guys, but if you guys want to help, like, feed the fire, you know what I mean. So I think definitely having your own catalog ready and having leverage over any label, because then you get to a point where it's like you can go to multiple labels and like see what they offer, and it's like I can do this without you guys still. So definitely having leverage is like key.
I think it's a very fascinating time for young artists, and you know, Mark and G, you guys might understand my perspective on this. Like, in my time, as old as fuck, I hate saying that because it makes me feel so fucking old. But no, like you couldn't make it unless you had a major label backing you up. You understand what I'm saying? 100%. Like you had there, because the internet was like in its infancy, and the social media platforms, TikTok didn't exist. I mean, pre-TikTok was Vine, and you know, even then, you know, rest in peace Vine, because I remember that era. But it's like, you know, the Instagram, you know, Facebook became what it was. Twitter, YouTube. Geez, it's in itself. And even now on the backside of it, what's that one that's like lightweight competing with YouTube at this point? Rumble. I think it's Rumble. Really? And then because they have like less restrictions, like no rules. It's like a platform like YouTube, but like, you know, you could be a super racist, Nazi on there and say whatever you want. They are literally like 100% freedom of speech. It's crazy. So, you know, I was like, Jesus. But they're like starting to gain steam because they're getting like big time YouTubers transferring to that
Rumble.
platform. Yeah. And then
Rumble.
and then you got what, Twitch streaming,
Yeah.
right?
The video game stuff.
Yeah. Well, now it's not even video games. I mean,
People
they
see
do
T-Pain.
video games.
I see T-Pain on their live.
Yeah,
streaming.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People
It's
making
like
music.
so. I think for young artists, it's interesting because you guys can really create your own fan base and grow without the backing of a label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, for you, like, how much work do you put? It sounds so. I mean, it just, to me, it sounds exhausting, right? You got to go all these platforms all the time and kind of, but how do you approach it, or what's your routine for when you're doing all this stuff? Like, you make a song, how do you get it out there? How do you market yourself, market it, the music videos, the production? Obviously, you got to have a team behind you backing you up. So I'm just curious your approach to all this.
So a lot of times it's like the music is gonna come. I'm gonna make the music. I think I'm gonna always be making music regardless of whether I put it out or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, we have this single that we want to drop, right? So then it's the first step is get visuals for it, because we're in an era of through social media, videos are like key for it. So make sure have visuals that can relate to the song, so the viewers have something to something to click with. And then after we get the visuals, putting out the songs easy. You can upload it to DistroKid, and through DistroKid it sends your music to Spotify, Apple Music,
Nice.
YouTube, everything.
Right.
And then schedule a video, and I think posting reels like consistently leading up to a video drop, and you see which ones do best organically and run paid ads on the ones that do best organically, and then
Just kind of grow from there, right?
Yeah, keep growing.
I mean, shout out Ramey.
Shout out Ramey, yeah.
Manager.
So I'm signed to a management deal as an artist and producer to shout out Ramey Music, crazy producer, crazy,
Okay.
He's the go. So he helps me. He helped me with the Young and Ace placement to get all my paperwork set up, and he just made it super easy for us to get paid, and just like he showed me how he did it.
Nice.
It was like, yeah, this is how we're getting your money. This is how So he's been like the greatest manager that I could ask for.
Yeah, the whole team basically. Ramey has, I say this from a big brother. Like Oscar has always had this niche of having friends that are older than him. And as an older, I like, I'm 33.
Right.
He's 18. So I left to college. I came back. I had a life.
Yeah.
Came back, and I seen him like as a 6th, 7th grader hanging out with, or 7th and 8th grade hanging out with high school seniors. It bothered me.
Nice.
It bothered. I'm like, what are you
Like, why are you hanging out?
why are you hanging out with my little brother? Like, you're in high school. What do you do? So it's always been like that with him. So, Ramey, his manager, I was weary, honestly, you should be when you just
Graduating
in
high
the
school.
it wasn't so much. It's just the music world.
Yeah.
And in Sacramento,
It's a
for
crazy,
me,
it's
in
a treacherous
Sacramento,
world. Yeah.
what I know from Sacramento music, which is not much. Well, kind of more now that I know him.
Yeah.
Is sometimes like I would chaperone him or not want to take him places because of just like you're 17. I have a pretty good idea what's gonna go on there. I'm not sure we want you there.
Yeah, right,
You know what
right.
I mean?
No, I get it.
So his manager, super cool. He's close to my age. He's now independently, like he's also a producer, and he has his own business, and he only has like two.
He only manages two artists.
He only manages two artists.
Nice.
So he's been all in on Oscar. He got Oscar's.
He got my EP tattooed on
App.
his
His
Nice.
album
What's up? Well, he's
tattooed
clearly
on
on
his
you.
arm.
Yeah, he's clearly all in.
He believes.
So I mean, when you were asking me about what's his process, I would say a lot of it is his management team.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
has been like just over the top. Really, like he's got a show coming up soon here in Alberta, right?
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
you should mention that on the show. I'm gonna share this.
we got a
definitely.
show coming up May 13th, opening for Adrian Marcel.
Hey,
That's gonna be,
okay.
yeah,
Adrian Marcel's got that song. It's too.
Nice. No, man. Like,
That's gonna be dope.
there you go, man. Do that, man. Hell yeah, you got to get that out there. No,
He's had 2 shows. Okay, he had 2 shows. One of them was at Brick and Mortar in San Francisco. I don't know if you guys would know.
I don't
I
know.
was
I've
there.
heard that
That shit was
place.
So it was
Mark was
crazy
there,
because Oscar was only supposed to do 1 song or 2 songs.
I was only supposed to do 1 song.
And he started doing a second one, and we got video of it.
Yeah.
He was
That shit was dope.
starting to turn into a mosh pit.
Yeah.
And then he stopped because he didn't know this first
Right.
one kind of.
Yeah.
Second show.
That shit was crazy.
And everyone there was like basically waiting for him before he came out.
Yeah,
So, and that was a lot of fun.
I wasn't even headlining, and then
He
I
wasn't.
come
Nice.
out.
You gotta wait.
Yeah.
The people in the back, because I was in the back room, because
Yeah.
I'm 18,
Yeah.
and it's a 21 and over. Like,
Oh,
event.
yeah.
So they have to have me in the green room,
Right.
you know, like waiting to perform, and then everybody comes out before me, and then the people come to get me, right, and they're like, "Hey, Oscar, it's your turn." The crowd's like chanting your name.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
the
And I was
energy
like,
was different.
I was
for him.
like, what?
It
Like,
was-
I was so surprised. I was like, what? And I go out, and it's just,
It's got to
you
be
know,
a great feeling.
Oh man, it was. I can't even.
Well, that's what I
explain
was
it.
gonna say.
It's surreal, yeah.
How was it performing in a crowd, or like for the first time, or if you remember your first time or anything like that?
No,
How'd
the
that
first
feel?
time, it was surreal. It felt like an outer body experience, you know,
Nice.
and it was just. I felt so comfortable out there. It was just like this is what I was meant to do, you know.
That's
And
sick.
it was more. It felt like I felt like I had something to prove, and I still feel like I have something to prove, and I feel like I just have to keep that hunger, you know. And
sir.
it's like when I got out on the stage for the first time, it was like none of these people have heard this or know who I am, but I promise that after this show, you guys will remember me. You know what I mean? So it was like. It was definitely an out of body experience.
Nice.
And then
his lineup, all unreleased bangers.
Yeah.
it was just all it was unreleased. I had performed Hayden, and then I performed another unreleased song.
That still isn't out yet.
Still
Right.
not out.
It's crazy.
But I had it was cool because at first, like when I went out there, the crowd wasn't really engaging.
Well, yeah.
So I just kept my energy, and then
Right.
eventually you just see heads start jumping,
Right.
and then it gets like
That's how it works. That's
Yeah.
how it works.
So it was, and then the second show, it was just like, that one was surreal. That one felt, and it was dope because I had a lot of friends and family there too,
Yeah.
you know, because it was not just like the first show was a lot of people, like, no, I didn't know anybody
Right,
there.
right,
you know.
right.
But the second show, it was a lot of friends and family, and it was awesome to see that kind of support from like people that close to me.
Of
So
course.
yeah.
I can only imagine. How do you feel about seeing his growth?
Man, it's like a movie. Like I said, I've been telling them, like with everything, like I said, like even I know that with the basketball stuff that we've done, like the basketball brought us together, cross paths. It goes back to like what I was saying, like all of this is just very, very inspiring to me. It's motivating to me, and that's why I feel like, seeing it from him, like he's 18 and using his example to the kids I train, you know what I'm saying? That who also know him.
Yeah.
It's like Oscar's doing this. Like
Right.
you can do this in basketball, just work as hard as him. And you guys have talent like him in his own field. So it's like, but again, he's surrounded by really good people, good family, good friends. Like
Support
he,
system is
and just even like I said, he's still young. Like even the way he talk and the way he move it's not like other kids who may not have a lot of positivity or
Right.
or the right guidance on a day-to-day
Right.
basis. Said he got a management team.
Yeah.
And even besides that, he got his brother,
Right.
he got his parents, you know what I'm
got
saying?
Mark.
Yeah, when I'm around,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I always say like whenever I'm with them too, like something always happens. We come up with an idea. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like again, for somebody at this age, who's definitely like, I feel like this experience, like I was telling G the other day, like, yo, when I was 18, I was working at Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was
Right.
bussing tables.
I wish I could do half the stuff
Right?
you guys do.
And this
man.
dude was just in LA for a month making music in a mansion, going out. I'm
Nice.
like, bro, like, So,
yeah, he was telling me about that. I was gonna say, well,
Yeah.
that was a question I was gonna ask you. About that LA experience and all you did there. Like,
Shout out Raimi.
Raimi.
Shout out
On
Raimi,
point,
bro.
on
Hey,
point.
shout out Raimi. You
splash for him. I don't know you, but I'm gonna give
Raimi,
splash for you.
Raimi is-
But no,
So he got us. He got us this Airbnb in straight up in the hills. Like,
Nice.
Just straight up is like it's a 3-story Airbnb. We had there for the whole month.
Working.
I brought all my studio equipment
Mm-hmm.
and just had like. I was locked in that
Yeah.
Airbnb for like a month, like just straight, just working.
it's like Kanye West. What was that?
Yeah.
And
He
what was his first
he went to a
album?
stadium, or was he locked himself up
No,
in
it's-
jail?
he was saying all summer he was like, I'm locking myself in the room all summer, making beats all summer. Damn, why am I not thinking what song that is? But I know the damn song. Yeah, graduate. It might have been graduation, but I know it's from his first album. But even still, yeah, I get the idea. But no, go ahead, keep telling me more about tell us more about that process and everything.
So when I had got there, like the first day that I got there, I don't know, it was like something in the air. I went. If you listen to my project, the Glad You Left project, I just dropped out on all platforms. By the
Yes,
way,
Yeah,
sir.
promote yourself.
I got the merch on.
Yeah.
The track
Definitely
list on the
promote
back.
yourself.
But it was the Trippin' 2 song. There's a song called Trippin' 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorites on the project. The first day I got there, I made the beat in less than like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the song just kind of happened, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really cool experience. I felt like there was just creativity in the air while you're out there. And it was dope. I got to work with a lot of cool artists, producers,
Nice.
build my network, you know? So that was a really cool experience. Shout out Raimi. Got to,
I mean, it seems like the key is to grow laterally, right? I'm big on talking about that. If you
one
look
step at a
back
time.
other episodes, I definitely say growing laterally is always the best way. Shout out to Joe, my producer, who makes these amazing videos, and he's always on Instagram. So please follow him too. But when I met Joe, and it was funny how I met him because it was after Ty had ghosted us.
Yeah.
However that happened,
Yes.
but Joe met him, came in, and he's been consistent and been making great stuff, and producing this podcast. And I told him no different than what I've told Mark when I first approached him with doing this. I said, if let's just say I talked about it on Dion's episode. He's a big proponent of Dion. Always shoots me a text. Shout out to him, Dion Taylor. He does movies. And he just did Fear. I haven't seen it yet. I need to go check that out. I keep telling him, but he told me, he said, look, man, like, this show's gonna be compared to the Joe Rogans, the All the Smoke podcasts, all that. He said, but the thing is, you're producing a product very similar, if not, just as good, with the limited resources you have, right? And it's as I grow, as I hopefully grow, and he grows, I want them to grow with me. Let's just say one of these episodes gets super viral, and people are like, oh, who's this show? And next thing I know, I got 500,000 subscribers or some crazy stuff like that. Please believe the guys I'm taking care of are the guys around me, right? So I look at it similar for you. You got a guy who's invested in you and wants to grow with you laterally. And to me, that's always the best way to do it, just me personally. Obviously, if someone from the top reaches down and helps you, that's great. But the likelihood of that is obviously very difficult.
You got to be realistic and because you got to think if no one reaches out, I still got to get this regardless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's 1,000%. Yeah.
How much time would you say you spend on this? I mean, is it basically wake up?
Yeah, I want to know this too.
6 a.m.
What's the
and
routine?
you're just
What's the routine like?
day in, day out?
So it became wake up, go knock out the projects that I have, like that I need to do, like that I'm getting paid for. I have to finish these, and then I take a break, go to the gym, clear my mind. And then when I get back to it, it's like a lot of times I just stay up as super late cooking up because that's we live in Mexican. I live in a Mexican household. We got little kids, so it's like it's loud, and a lot of times like sometimes like later in the day at night is like the only time I can really record in my room, like, you know, trying to knock out projects. So it's like I'll stay up till about like 1:30, 2, and then I'm just like, okay, go to sleep next day, keep going.
Yeah.
And it's become like, yeah, it's just.
Man, you got to understand, though, and this is just me speaking, again, as my old man wisdom or whatever, but, man, your day and age and your generation, if you are willing to put in the work, man, it's I just hate to say it, with your generation, yeah, you guys, you got so many fucking
More avenues.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
avenues,
You have
make
more
money.
places, more options, and on top of that, your generation of kids are such lazy shits that if you just are willing to put in the hours, you're going to be so much further ahead than your competition. You know what I mean? Like, I still got to deal with, there's people around my age who work just as hard as me. I always got to outwork them, and, you know, jokingly before the show, but he knows as well as I do. I don't sleep much. Like, I'm always going, but it's because I know I always have to be, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 steps ahead of my competition. But your generation, man, if you just put in the hours like you're doing, you're going to be fine, man. You're going to be successful. Because some people try it, you know, for a little while, but then they realize how hard it is, or it doesn't happen instantly, right? That's the thing. Like, I've realized even doing this, I do this show, redo this show, because of our shared passion in basketball and just loving. I love to sit down and hear people's stories. I love to hear, meet new people and hear their journeys and stuff, and hear the things that tie us together. That's my love for this show. The idea of it ain't to become famous or to become rich. If it happens, great. I'm not going to say no to that. But you know, most podcasts, what most people don't realize, most podcasts fail. First off, that's just hands down. Especially because so many people are doing it more and more and more. 2, usually I think it was statistically, I looked it up, after episode 7 or 8, people run out of content. Because, of course, the first few episodes, you're excited, you're talking. After a while, people run out of things to say, or they don't have the same motivation because they're like, damn, I did 5 episodes. Why am I not famous yet? You know what I mean? And we're on episode like 50 something. You know what I mean? And I'm still gonna keep doing this and keep loving to do it, because I love to hear the stories. Like, you know, shout out to I'm thinking about it, shout out to Kai Huntsberry winning with the NIT championship with his school, North Texas. You know what I mean? And when we interviewed him years ago, in that episode, he was talking about how he was doubting to continue to play basketball.
That's crazy.
He was doubting that, and he won that championship in the school's first time history. You know what I mean? So I could go back to an episode and look at that and go, damn.
Yo, that was to decide that.
Yeah. Just like I look back at his episodes with MJ. And, you know, talking
and Marcus
about
Jopie.
you know, like where I look back and I think, we were just talking about with him with track. Yeah. And now where that's
Kansas
taking
State
him.
now.
And then talking about MJ, obviously, you know, he's dealing with his injuries and whatnot, but still how he had a passion to go D1, because that's when he was at the prep school at the time. All right.
Scotland.
That was really inspired. Like, I seeing it was one time I went to go record, just seeing it walk into the gym. Like
the San Jose?
Gym, the empty San Jose gym, and just seeing like the empty rafters. It's like this was a product of hard work. This is a product. This is what consistency and hard work will get you. It's just that was like those were like those changed my perspective on like what I was doing, you know,
because you're gonna be walking up in there with crowds of people cheering for you.
And that will happen one day, right? I want to get on to hot takes. So, obviously, I want to talk about the biggest hot take right now while it's fresh in my mind. Shout out to LSU women's basketball for winning the championship. That was amazing watching that game. A high-scoring game at that, too. I mean, you know, usually, I'll be real, in women's basketball, I don't see scores like that. So, I was very excited to watch. But we got to talk about the big main topic. Angel Reese, right? And Caitlin Clark. Everybody was making a big deal about, you know, the You know, the John Cena
President, the Miss
well, even
Biden,
pre-John
like-
Cena, it was Tony Yayo that did that
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
back in you know, with 50 Cent and them. But you know, getting their face, and then of course Caitlyn did the same thing. Obviously, the same taunting. The cool part was, even in the press conference, she was like, "I don't think Angel deserves any bad press or anything. She was a competitor. Women's basketball looks great right now in terms of having it on the forefront." Because I'm a proponent of women's basketball. I watch it to a degree. I'm not going to say act like I watch it all the time, but I try to watch it. For sure college, for sure high school girls, right? Because I actually have a girl I help train and coach who's one of the top in the country right now. She's on the ESPN top 15, Harper Peterson at Whitney, right?
Oh,
yeah, she's one of the top 15 in the nation. So obviously I'm very proud of that and very proud of her. So of course that gives me some natural investedness in women's basketball. But the biggest part of the topic I want us to talk about, because, you know, screw it, let's address it like everyone else. Obviously they're saying she's white. You know, she did the gestures, did the taunting. It was all, oh, she's competitive, you know, she's a tough queen, blah, 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 blah. Angel does the same taunt. She's a thug. She's ghetto. Obviously, these are all trigger words. You know, we're all minorities in here. Let's keep it real. These are trigger terms, or, you know, coded language where they're trying to say something that they're not. There was a lot of people on Twitter. Of course, Twitter is where a lot of people love to talk mess. You got a lot of keyboard thugs, keyboard warriors on Twitter. And the cool part was, like, Shaquille O'Neal was talking mess back and all that stuff. So I don't know how much you've seen or heard about that, but I was just curious everybody's thoughts about that crazy stuff.
I haven't actually been following it, but I think, I mean, I haven't really been following that much. But,
that's fine.
I think it's like,
just the race component is obviously the biggest part that most people are talking about.
I think if like, it's basketball though. It's like the race doesn't even matter. Like, it's just more about, like, it was getting a competitive game. I could assume it was a competitive game.
Very
it's just
competitive.
Like, it's basketball.
Right.
Like, it's not. I don't think anything is like. That's not. You know. I think it should just be.
I agree.
Cordial. Like, it's like they both. It was like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kept cordial. I don't think it should be anything.
You got any thoughts on this one, Mark?
Well, like I said, it's the world that we live in. You know, with was it the president's wife saying that both of them should come, like nobody does that, right? And so now it's like you're making it so obvious now. It's like it should just be LSU, but because Iowa has all white girls on the team, and because I feel like, to me as a competitor, like, leave it alone. Like, you know, they're out there competing. Like the whole thing of Caitlin Clark doing it, because she did it in the game before.
Against South Carolina.
Yeah, against South Carolina. You know, that's cool. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But, and then with Angel Reese doing it, and she was doing it a lot.
Yeah.
But like she won the championship.
Yeah, exactly.
And Caitlin Clark was killing in that first half, so it could have went either way. So I feel like, as a competitor, you know, like, people who play sports, you know, who compete. Because even with I'm happy that Caitlin Clark, you know, went that direction of saying, like, I'm not tripping. Right. She could have been like, yeah, man, she could have been a sore loser. She could have really created some big drama. But she knew, as a competitor, you know, because she out there talking shit too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That it's okay. But for us, like you said, social media, the day and age of where we're at right now with race and everything like that, it's something to talk about.
Right. I feel like they're looking for a way to make this, you know,
a narrative.
A narrative, and they feed the flames. And I'm sure some people did, you know, and because I didn't go through the comments, but I can only imagine.
Oh, I saw it. Like, I researched it. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And to me, I mean,
they definitely like they called her a monkey, and you know, all the typical racist crap.
My thing is, like, why, you know, as basketball community, why do we even fan that flame? Yeah. We should have just, you know what I mean? It's just because if we want to be, you know, a hooper's a hooper, right? I mean, trash talking is trash talking.
Exactly.
Like, everyone that's adding a narrative to that about being, you know, blacks or whites and all that, to me, they're doing too much. It's
Right.
like, you know,
Imagine if Magic and Larry Bird played in today's era with social media.
I know,
you know,
right?
and exactly.
Well, and that was kind of what I was thinking in the comparison in my head was, remember during that time with Magic and Bird, because this is kind of glossed over, but most, I think, true basketball purists know this. You know, Magic and Bird saved the NBA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jordan elevated it, but
Yeah.
Magic and Bird saved the NBA.
Coming out of
Yeah.
college, that
Yeah,
whole momentum
exactly,
they
exactly.
had.
And then it was, and of course,
Country
there was
Ball
the
Boy, L-
you know, it was
LA,
Boston, LA,
Shining
the
Smile.
cultural difference. It was definitely. Of course, they didn't say it in the media, but the media knew how to pump up the white versus
Hey,
black
how
thing.
do you think the crowd? What do you think the shit the crowd was saying?
Yeah.
Back in those
Oh,
days?
yeah.
I've
Oh,
heard-
it
I've
was
heard
ridiculous.
Players talk
Oh, yeah.
about nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now NBA players are lashing out. You know, like
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah,
them out,
exactly.
get them out. But imagine back in Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Oh,
day,
you know,
what I
Magic
mean?
heard it, and you know,
Right.
but again, the cool part with Bird was, I remember, I think I was watching one of the specials they did on them or something. But like Bird only really addressed it once or twice. He just was like, "Yeah, Magic's black." Like, you know, that's like
Right.
what he took it like. So what? I don't care. He's like, I love him. He loves me. Like we're gonna compete till the day we die. You know what I mean? Like, and but they both I think they both knew from a marketing side that it was great for the league. Like, sure, we'll play up the race thing that y'all want to put against. We just hooping. But if it gets us money in our pocket,
And you know, and without the controversy of Ellis, you know, the girls talking crap to each other, it was still, I want to say, it was still one of the highest rated.
Exactly,
games.
it was.
The girls are getting so
yes,
good now.
yeah. And again, that was the spin I want to say on it is, you know, again, the racist rhetoric I think is a very, very small percentage. It is out there, but I don't think it's the majority of it, obviously. But it is good for women's basketball. People could feel any type of way they want about it, but again, that's why I say,
Controversy's
yeah,
always good. Right.
you circle it back to Magic and Bird when they had their, you know, rivalry that people were trying to put too much on. They're going to put too much on those two, but at the same time, women's basketball has been struggling for ratings, clearly. Like what? Like
They
y'all
needed
need to
that.
take
They
it. They
needed
need
that.
that. And then
Sure.
if those two ladies go to the WNBA,
Yeah.
be good for the WNBA.
Huh?
I'm just be honest.
Right. I mean, NBA players do it all. Look at Russ talking to Dylan Brooks. Look
Yeah,
at Dylan
yeah.
Brooks this whole season. Look at Draymond.
Well,
Look
that-
at
yeah,
Patrick Beverley.
exactly,
You know
I
what
know,
I'm saying?
right.
Like, you know, that's the same manners. You know, this
Yeah.
is the same.
That's
you know,
true.
if you don't like it, you know, don't lose.
Right.
And don't give him
Exactly.
don't give him a reason to talk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you know,
I overall think it's good. I think Angel is handling it the best way she can.
Sure.
You know, and I think Caitlin
And they're all
handled it
getting
very
paid
well.
off this shit.
Yes,
Like, they're all
exactly.
getting paid. They're
Yes.
doing commercials and doing ads.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They're all getting paid.
It's
so-
good for women's basketball. I'm
Yeah.
a total fan of it.
after the like, I don't know if you guys remember when they did the NCAA and the guys had like just 5 steak dinners and the girls had, you know, they really pretty much like turned it around.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah. They have.
NCAA, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
For
No, I
women's
agree.
Basketball, and
Yeah.
you know, they gotta add extra spin. I guess, man.
And
I feel
yeah,
like it was a reach. I get it though. Why, like, you know, why people were upset?
yeah.
Because anytime you go to the comment section,
Yeah.
bunch of
You go to
keyboard-
Twitter, it's terrible.
Keyboard thugs,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said. You won't say that shit in
No,
person.
no,
you
of course
know?
not. Of course
you ain't
not.
gonna say
No.
that shit in person.
And they make burner accounts and all that
Right,
stuff. I mean, it's, you know, it's just the
And
world we live in.
some people might say it in person, but you know,
That's a very small percentage.
Right.
Very small percentage. I
out the
well,
game.
it's funny you mentioned him because that was gonna be one of my topics for the next subject. You know, talk NBA and all that good stuff. Dylan Brooks, he is clearly trying to make himself the villain of the NBA.
Yeah.
Is he going too far?
no.
Okay.
My thing, no, because he only has one shot at this.
Yeah.
You
True.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's building. You know, he's not a
Sure.
bad boy from the Pistons, but
Yeah.
look at, they're still the bad boys from the Pistons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I don't know though, cause like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
Nah,
give
you
you.
don't
This
like
is
him.
this is my pushback on it. Beat a villain all you want. That's cool. But he fucked Gary Payton Jr. up, and that pissed me off because I'm a Warriors fan.
Like hurt him.
Yeah, remember in the
Last
playoffs,
year.
he hit him in the back of the head and fractured his elbow from that. That's like, and then like when he nut shot Donovan Mitchell, Those are the things I think you're taking it too far.
Well,
to
I
me,
mean, if you're gonna go down that road, Draymond kicking, I don't know.
yeah, I don't think Draymond was right too. I don't think he was right. I don't think he was right for doing that to LeBron or Steven Adams. I was like, Draymond does too much.
What about and Grayson Allen?
And I think Grayson Allen needs to get knocked out one good time. There's a few players.
But Dylan Brooks, the thing about him is, I was ready to like man, you're doing too much. And then he had a game where it was like 24 points, a couple of big dunks, and it's like, well, fuck. Man,
he can actually play. That's what I give credit to him.
What I mean?
He can actually play. I will not take that away from him.
He might have a career in the WWF after
right. That's true.
Afterwards, with Draymond, but
he's trying to market himself very well.
If you were in that opportunity to take advantage, is it taking it too far?
No. I mean, hey, listen,
it's annoying.
It's
it's annoying as shit.
It's a business, and at the end of the day, controversy sells. Right, so I do not deny that. I'm in the business of basketball too. Like I told you, little Timmy, he's got to get his due. So I guess
what would you say to Dylan Brooks if he went through your program and now he's acting like that? What would you say to him? Like if he was one of your
the way I market him, former YBA player Dylan Brooks. Is out in the NBA looking amazing right now.
If you're part of his camp,
exactly.
Like, hey, man, you're doing just enough.
He is definitely one of those guys. You don't want to play against him, but you don't mind him being on your team.
That's hilarious.
You got any thoughts on that one?
No,
Mark?
it's just funny because, like I said, like think about who Dennis Rodman. I'm not gonna put Dylan Brooks with Dennis Rodman, but I feel like
he has those elements. I know what you mean.
And then just kind of like looking the way he be moving on and off the court. It's 2023. He understands social media. He understands that again, like we've seen Patrick Beverly do stuff like this. Where again, like the Memphis Grizzlies team, I feel like overall, right? First of all, they go off. It's off their leader, who's really, really good. Really good. But at the end,
he got issues. But he learned from him. Hopefully,
he definitely does. But it's like he is this generation.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. And so now Dylan Brooks, he's being inspired, right? And that's just who he is as a player, right? And then now you see it in all the other players where they're all trying to all get kind of brave. And, I see Desmond Bain out here trying to fight LeBron. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, again, to me, it's just got to adapt. Like, this is the new generation.
It is.
This is NBA basketball, And to me, it's like, man, I'm trying to figure out, like I said, I'm trying to adjust the way I talk to kids and train, but at the same time, how do I utilize, social media and trying to highlight these kids who are all different, you know what I'm saying? And really just, because like I said, I feel like what messes up a lot of OGs and old people who are, get off my lawn kind of thing is like, man, like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when you're not here, this shit's going to keip being like this or evolve even more worse.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Remember when our parents were talking about us, with the baggy pants and the tall tees.
The tall tees.
The fat laces, the big earrings.
The Jabos.
Yeah, man. So
our clear Air Force Ones.
Yeah, man.
those?
I say Dylan Brooks and all this stuff, man, it's just evolution, man. Everything is just kind of moving forward. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, outside of Dylan Brooks and whatnot, I want to talk about the Sacramento Kings because I'm not a Kings fan, but the Kings are legit doing their thing, and he's obviously a Laker fan.
Yeah, man. I'm not worried.
I'm a Laker fan too.
Yeah, okay.
We right there in the hunt, man.
Yeah,
Give us the Kings the first round. Let's see what happens.
The Kings, Oscar, what's your team? You're a Laker fan too? Okay, all right, Laker fan.
Our whole household kind of.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, hey, there's a team to root for. Right? It's that I want to meet a random Clipper fan one day. That's who I want to meet.
I went to school in South Dakota, and there was a random Kings fan out there.
Oh wow!
Shout out Luke Bamber. I don't know if he's watching this, but yeah, I was just like, "Why do you like the Kings?" He's just like, "I don't know."
I like the purple. I don't know. But how amazing is what Mike Brown has done though?
Coach of the year. Give him Coach of the Year for that.
There's just I credit to him because I mean it's just I think coaches, especially NBA coaches, obviously unless they prove themselves through the long run, I think people just don't understand how much they are a factor. Right, because I think they get this premise of They're all professionals. They're all
Yeah.
getting paid millions. They don't need direction. They know how to play basketball. They should just do it. And the greatest music needs someone to orchestrate it. You know what I mean? Like how people approach when it comes to sports. Coaching is definitely a thankless job, right? Nobody's. Trust me, I hear how many things I did wrong before I hear anything I did right. You know what I mean? And I can win the game and win a championship, and I did something wrong. So it doesn't it's just the nature of the beast. But guys like Mike Brown, you know, who literally shifted the culture of someone or something like the Kings. I mean, he has De'Aaron Fox believing he's the greatest player in the league right now. And sometimes it's all you
he's
need.
playing like
Yeah,
that.
he
He's
is.
playing
No knock on him. Like
Yeah.
he is playing out of his mind, but for him to like really step in and get him to believe that,
Yeah.
you know, I just think that's a huge reflection. And
And Mike Brown's been around. Like he's coached Kobe in the Lakers. He's been on those LeBron teams. He's been an assistant coach for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Like not saying that the Kings gonna win the championship. But I'm just saying, like, you know, he's doing a really good job.
he
Like,
shifted the culture.
The Kings have had they've been really close and all my friends that are Kings fans, I'll tell them, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, you guys are really close, but you know.
Yeah.
And this year, I mean, shit,
Let's
they're
see what
making
they
a
do.
run in for the
Yeah.
conference. Well, they just won the
Yeah, they won.
right?
They clinched the playoffs. Yeah.
that, so
Wow, can't believe it.
we'll
believe
see what happens.
Right.
Right? First
See,
round.
you were too young to even know when the Kings were good.
My senior year of high school was the last time they was in the playoffs.
Right.
That's 2006.
It's funny because I'm in real estate. I'm a realtor, and one of the most followed Sacramento appraisers put a graph up the other day of home prices in Sacramento and the Kings winning record over the last whatever. and as the Kings start getting better, all the prices in Sacramento started going. And the last time they were good, you know, prices
Right.
were good, and then,
That's crazy.
That's
I thought that
funny.
was
That's
funny.
really good. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, the West is it's gonna be a great series.
Who do you got coming out the West? Don't say the Warriors. I'm just playing.
My bias is gonna say the Warriors, but the analytics side in me, damn man, it's just tough. I honestly, because who's number one? It's Denver, right?
Joker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
But
anyone
they're not
personally in
playoff
Denver, but
proven.
right,
You know what
that's
I mean?
I'm
Like,
I don't believe it.
yeah, it's hard
I don't believe
to.
them.
Because, you know, there's just some of those teams, they're great
Yeah.
in the season and they just can't get it done in the playoffs. And that's where I say my Warriors are always slept on because, you know, last year people did not have us picked to go to the finals and
What about
damn
the
sure win it.
Grizzlies?
See, the Grizzlies. I can't
They're distracted,
believe it.
man. They're on
Yeah.
other things, man.
I can't believe
I would
that.
not be surprised if the Warriors get to the finals.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
What about the
Nah,
Clippers?
You can't be.
The Clippers.
They're the Clippers. Like, nah.
Come on, playoff Pete.
Nah.
You believe in playoff
He's
Pete?
out. Playoff
He's
Pete.
out. Yeah,
He's out.
Oh, yeah,
He's
he's
out.
out.
They
You're
said he'd
right.
come
You're
back
right.
second
Nah.
round, maybe.
The Clippers are the Clippers. So
I don't know, man. Again, the West is going to be very interesting. Very
the
interesting.
Phoenix got
Phoenix
KD.
has KD, but
I don't know.
and then well, on the flip side of it, aren't they going to end Kyrie and look at the Mavs? I
I think Kyrie gonna be a Laker next year. That's what I think.
I don't think.
I think so. I
think so. I don't know, man. You know, I feel like he's just
I think so, man. I think he's gonna reunite with LeBron
fair enough. I mean,
because he's
I
a
don't
free
know.
agent right now.
True.
I mean, after this season, where else is he gonna go?
I don't know, man. Kyrie's weird. He'll
I
go
know, I
to
know.
Tibet and go freaking meditate for a year and come back. I don't know. Again, good man, weird dude. This is my opinion. Who was the
Well,
other
shoot,
person?
didn't Jordan Farmar go do that for a whole summer and they came
Yeah.
back and won the championship?
Yeah, that's
Did he
true.
really?
That's true.
With
Yeah.
the Lakers. Yeah.
Who knows, man? Yeah, Kyrie's Kyrie. He's gonna go his own path, and then, then out of the East, right?
Right. Boston and Milwaukee.
I think Boston and Milwaukee
they're
again.
gonna
That's
win-
what I was
one
gonna
of
say.
those two
Philadelphia's
gonna
up
win the
there.
championship.
Philly.
Nah, Philly. Sorry.
No,
No.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean Joel's playing great, but it's just tough.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do when they double triple? I know to win the game. It's
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
And then I want to talk about a few more NBA topics, like Ben Simmons. right?
Let's
Man.
get Oscar's opinion on that one. I feel like I don't know.
Oh,
That's
Ben
like
Simmons?
I
Yeah.
feel like he was your generation's like
He embodies an AAU kid to me.
right.
Man.
Like, I didn't get it my way. I'm mad. I don't
just
know how
gonna
to
give
play.
up.
Like, yeah. Then now you can give me your perspective, but he is him and the guys at the Houston Rockets, Jalen Green, all them. They embody that AAU culture to me. They are the next generation of, unfortunately, what I see when it comes to AAU basketball, or not AAU basketball, NBA basketball players from the AAU culture. But you tell me your opinion with the Ben Simmons and his, I don't know if you call it basketball anymore.
Man, I think if you're not gonna try hard, like just stop. Just like if you're not really like you know what I mean. Just
It's the paycheck.
yeah, it's the paycheck, but it's just like damn.
To watch what he's become is just sad.
Sad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like you had the potential to be so you had the potential to be great, and that's what your legacy is gonna be now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for him,
He needs
man.
J. Cole to drop a bar about him.
Right.
Markel Fultz.
Right?
Right, because Markel Fultz, he came back
Yeah.
on the scene right
Yeah, he
after
did.
that
He
whole
did.
thing.
That's true.
Ben-
That's true.
And the thing is, I know Ben Simmons can shoot. You know he can fucking shoot.
It's all-
We've
it's
all
all
seen him
mentally.
shoot. And that's
Mental.
where like the
Mental.
mental
all
component comes
Yes.
into it. And I feel like he just bought into it. He
Yeah.
let them
No,
win.
for sure.
They,
For
they
sure.
bullied his way out of there.
For sure.
It all started at that one pass that he made
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the game.
Yeah.
And then he let that's how the season ended. And he let that narrative.
get to him.
He couldn't
But-
even. I'm assuming that he had to stay away from his phone, or at least knowing that he.
Oh, he stayed away from that phone.
Man, like, because again, like I said, like he's to be in the NBA and to be that talented and have all those resources. How do you not? And again, especially as a trainer, like. To me, I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, they all probably had their best player development coaches try to help him. But yet, and so to me, it's like, okay, now it's mental then. Because you have the best of the best at your disposal to help you work on your shot, or you're even your mental, because a lot of NBA teams have mental performance coaches.
Yes.
So to me, it's like either like he's like, fuck it, I don't need the help and just going rogue, or I don't know. Because like I said, I feel like his legacy, man, is sad to say, because like I really don't want anything bad to happen to him, but from a standpoint of as what people look at him,
Yeah.
like it's already messed up. It's pretty sad to say. I'm hoping that he can get the mental toughness to still have a good life and not care about all the shit that happened in his past. But man, it's hard, man. It's hard. And he's young.
He just needs to get up like
Yeah.
100. What did Kobe get up one summer?
1,000
Like
1,000 a day.
1,000, maybe even 500 a day.
Yeah.
He'd be all right.
I don't think he did.
Well, I think, that's why I say, like,
Why not?
I
is
know.
this, but that's what I say, is this generation mentally softer? You know what I mean? Like the younger and younger generations are getting mentally softer. And again, I do think it's a give and take. I don't think you could be a Bobby Knight coach anymore. You can't be the extreme, like, I choke you out and throw a
would've got
chair
caught on
at you.
some
Yeah,
cell
you know what I
phones.
mean? Yeah, but at the same time, you can't be so, I don't think you can be so soft and passive and just cater to everybody's feelings, right? And that's the hard, challenging part of trying to coach these type of players nowadays.
I think to me, what I realize, what I've noticed is, and I think you're right about this generation being more mentally weak. And I feel like nowadays we're not saying that mental health was never around, but we're talking more mental health. And I feel like it's because of social media. Like a lot of
100%.
kids are comparing themselves, and if people are talking about them, even if let's take away the grand scheme of things, but let's talk about like a high school kid at their high school. Everybody's on their cell phone, having their little cliques,
their
putting
life-
up pictures.
Their
And
life revolves around.
Yes.
It's like they're not even living. They're living in their phone.
exactly, and I feel like that is what's messy, because I always see kids like, I'm gonna be off social media and I know why, and it's tough, but it's like we never had to really worry about that,
Nah.
back in our day.
we're the last
you know,
generation
Yeah.
that's going to remember life before phones.
So
Before
moderation,
cell
man.
phones,
Yeah,
before
man.
the internet. When we die off, we're the last
Yeah.
one. His generation will never know what life was like before a phone.
That's cool.
That's what's so crazy because I've realized that we literally are the last generation that will remember.
Our kids, though, God, man.
Right?
Man. My son's 4 already, know
Right.
how to.
Yeah, and a lot of the thing too, I think with like the mental toughness is like the environment. The environment because there is so many mentally weak people, well, not people, kids.
Yeah.
Just
Just the younger generations, yeah.
The ones that figure it out and get mentally tough sooner, or just gonna that's what we look at. We look for dogs.
Yeah.
Every time we look at a player,
everybody.
right? We see how they react.
Yes.
Whenever we hit them with a little adversity.
Yes.
I know, I've heard it, that you test out new players when they come out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
remember that episode? Oh, I fucked him up, yeah.
But and I'm sure you do that all the time whenever you get a new one, you know what I'm saying? And it's just to see.
Because I got to see if they can handle it.
Who's mentally tough and who's not. And I'll share this story. I had a coach in one of the Mexican, So when I played basketball professionally in Mexico, there was you were allowed 1 Mexican American, which was Pocho, and 3 Americans.
Okay.
So the Pocho spot was really fought, like to hold down a job for the whole season.
Yeah.
You had to be basically balling or, just balling.
Right, right.
So I actually, I'll admit it, I bounced around a lot. I got traded to other teams, I got cut, and then would fly out to another team and, get picked up. And
It's the nature of the business.
One of the top teams that I really wanted to play for, the coach for a week straight had me guarding their best player, getting off of I was getting double screen, triple screen. Like he was trying to make me quit.
Right.
And I figured it out the second day. And I just remember having some of the players coming up to me like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Why you still what are you doing? I was just like, man, fuck this old guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like
for
quit.
my generation,
Yeah.
bro, this is I'm getting paid still.
Right,
To
yeah.
be here running through screens, like, man, y'all tripping.
You're not making me quit.
Y'all tripping, you know what I mean?
exactly.
And I think back to that situation and the coach, even the coach, he wanted me to stay. I ended up leaving to go somewhere where I could actually play. But he was going to give me the spot just to stay there. Off of that alone, I wasn't going to play. I was going to, be on the practice squad because they can only have 1 Mexican American on the squad.
Right.
But he was like, stay here, and hey, I get it. But But I think of some of the kids that you coach, how many of them would really, you know what I mean? How many of them?
They won't last.
There's like I said, I just had a bunch of 16U kids quit my team because apparently I was cursing them out or too tough. And again, I heard the objective video. I didn't curse them out, but in the game I was like, hey, get the fuck back on defense.
What do you think a college coach is gonna say? You're signed to them.
Right.
Yeah.
They you are signed. Now with the transfer portal, it's the whole lot. They can loyalty thing. They can dip after the year, but for that whole year, you're gonna have to hear them talk shit to you, or you're gonna quit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Either
or
one.
you're gonna rise to the occasion. And I mean, you heard that Coach K talk about Jason Tatum. Have you heard that?
Yes.
When he walks in, he's all, I recruited a soft ass motherfucker from St. Louis. I don't know what he said. Basically, give me your jersey, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
That's Coach K.
That's Coach K.
That's
and
Coach
what does
K.
he do? What does Jason Tatum do the next half? He responds,
Exactly.
right? So I mean, shit.
It's just weird. It's again, I don't think you can be extreme on either side, but there has to be accountability. I still think that universally has to be the cornerstone of creating top athletes is accountability.
Parents trying to sometimes shelter their kids.
Oh
from,
man,
from someone telling them, "Hey, fucking work on your left hand."
Yeah,
you're not playing because you can't make a left hand layup.
And it's always someone else's fault. Oh, he can't get playing time because this kid is so good. It's like, well, get better. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Exactly.
Like, go put in the work and get better.
Yeah, man.
I don't know why, even now with all the advancement in technology, the advancement in sports science, trainers, understanding of the human body, YouTube, the internet, there's still this weird misconception that you don't have to put in work. Yes, you do. It's more efficient work because we understand so much more, but you still have to put it in. And it's
regardless.
it seems like kids and parents don't want to acknowledge that fact.
But the ones that do,
Yep.
the
Yes.
ones
They're
that
the
do,
1%, the
there's
3% in college, the 1% in pro.
and it's been like that. I mean, I feel like it's been like that forever. But
Yeah,
just
yeah,
with
yeah.
social media, we're just in
Becoming
each other's
more.
business
Exactly.
so much more.
Exactly.
Before you could hide the fact that you're kind of lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
you can now. You can. And
That's true.
and listen, I'm not knocking social media. I have a business because of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's free marketing. Again, whether people like YBA, don't like YBA, you know, or have heard of it or seen it around something, you know something of it if you're in Northern California, which is the point of marketing in general, right? So that's the whole benefit of everything we do. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see in 10 years where the NBA will be, where college basketball will be. Like,
Entertainment.
yeah.
It might bring back the
Show.
NCAA video game now.
Yeah.
That people can get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
And
Got
that,
a 4-point line.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm not mad at college kids getting paid. I think
Yeah.
we've talked about that in depth.
That
Like,
should have been from
Right.
Long time ago.
right. Because I mean, these people have been making money off of
Yeah.
games since the big time.
billions.
Since I can remember.
Yeah. True.
And of course, they're the ones advocating, no, they're students. They're students. That's all. Shut up, dude. Like, you're sitting there getting paid millions off of this. I don't want to hear that. So, no. And then what I also like to see, too, is with all the older college coaches retiring, other new coaches getting opportunities, which I think is great in itself, too. So, I mean, again, there's good and bad on all of the sides of it. We'll just see how it plays out and manifests.
Yep.
Right. It reminds me of. So I listen. I listen to all like the red pill, blue pill kind of stuff, the YouTube stuff or whatever. But Andrew Tate, right? That's a guy that everyone talks about. But I do agree on this regard that, especially for young men and men in general, we do need to go through shit to find out who we are. You know what I mean? You know, this whole generation now, it's all about feelings and, you know, wanting men and young men to cry more and all this stuff. I'm like, look, okay, you know, yeah, feel some emotion. I'm not saying that. I got kids. I want my kids to know I love them and stuff. But this whole, like, basically feminizing men deal is just not, nah. Like, I hope I don't ever see you in a dress one day or some weird crap like that. I know in the hip hop world it's getting kind of weird like that, but I'm just saying.
I think that's what the definition of selling your soul is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
going
yeah.
out of like becoming, nah.
You know, be true to yourself, man.
Yeah.
But man, it's just I don't know. It's 10, 15 years.
New
I don't
generation, man.
I don't know what's gonna happen, man. We're definitely gonna see.
I think
Go ahead.
I think it's just. I hope it gets to a point where eventually people are just gonna realize what reality is. 'Cause I think.
Yeah.
I mean, with social media, I think a lot of people. I don't understand. A lot of kids my age like delusional.
Yeah,
about
for sure.
what life is right now.
But to say y'all live in the Matrix, right?
Yo, bro, like,
Right?
and it's
Real.
like it's real, bro. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
seeing even now, I get like caught scrolling for like,
Oh.
dude, and
It's
like,
addicting. I can't
Dude,
front.
yeah.
Like
And
those
it's like-
1 minute videos,
Yeah.
you can't help it. It is
Yeah.
entertaining, like seeing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, but it's crazy because like I've seen like kids my age, like they live in these
I know.
like
Yeah.
I know.
live in it. It's like it's crazy. Yeah, but
I feel like people go out just to get Instagram posts.
I know.
Like,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Dress up.
I make it a point sometimes that maybe I haven't been good with it lately. With my lady, or my kids, I try to put
Yeah.
my phone away.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been
I already know.
I always tell. Well, this is kind of my formula. I tell people, you know, to be successful, because, you know, I get questions about that as far as like, you know, how did you get to this point with AAU and all you're doing and stuff. I say, listen, you know, develop a phone addiction. You do need that, but this is the key. This is the key to it. Be someone that creates content, not just absorbs it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't just consume it, right? Exactly. Don't just consume content. Create it, and your addiction will serve you well. You know what I mean? So I've kind of tried to find that balance too, but it is hard.
It's like a lot of times, like too, I'll be like, I'll go on there. I assume you do this too. Like
Yeah.
you go on there and you're like looking for ideas of how to
Yes.
like, promote it.
Yeah.
And then one video catch you, and then you just go.
You keep going. You keep going. You look at them reels. You look at them. I'm like, man,
Oh,
it's
that's
hard.
hilarious. I feel like too. I think like what he was saying earlier about, you know, like I said, like I haven't been in high school since 06. So,
Yeah.
you know, like what he's
Different.
saying, like he's in high school and he's seeing all these, even my daughter who's 6, like I see a couple kids with cell phones, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm assuming is to call their parents, but it don't look right. But I feel like that, the whole thing with the cell phone thing is that if you're living in your purpose, right? And at the end of the day, we live in this generation with social media phones, but if you're living in your purpose and you know how to utilize it, right, compared to the other people who aren't living in their purpose and are just on their phones all day, being depressed, trying to live a fantasy life, which at the end of the day, that's also what's creating money for those people who aren't really living in their purpose. That's where you're going to get caught up, where the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life, you're going to be like, what the hell just happened? What am I doing with my life? You know what I'm saying? Compared to, like, let's say, like, I'm on my phone a lot. And
Yeah.
I also, as a family man, like I said, I struggle with that at times, but it's like, I am living in my purpose, and I know at the end of the day, for me to impact other kids, I have to use the social media. But like, yes, I'll get those things on my phone. Like, okay, this week you've been on your phone for this percentage,
Right.
you know. And like I'm like, damn, all right, let me try to get it back a little more. So next week, you know, but I'm very aware of that,
Right.
you know, where I feel like a lot of people aren't
Nah.
at all. Like they need to bring their shit to the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit. Like
I can't do that.
that's crazy, man.
But
so,
you're right.
So yeah, man, that's what I think, man. It's it can get scary, man.
Yeah.
Some of them, there's some movies on Netflix, man. Like where those movies that, you know, like in 10, 15 years from now, you know, that Black Mirror or whatever.
Right.
Man, I think that's gonna happen, man, for real.
I don't know. And it's tough because, you know, the right video on this could change your life.
Oh,
It's
that's
just-
the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though.
That's what
It's
everybody's
like-
chasing.
Yes, absolutely. Like they're waiting for that one viral video, that one, you can't even call it 15 minutes of fame. It's more like 5 seconds of fame, but it's enough. It is enough. I know.
I think too, like that's why I feel like lately, like promoting wise, I feel like doing shows and like getting back into like, you know, like trying to be
physically being out there.
Physically
Yeah.
is so important. Like,
Oh, for sure.
because it can just so easy get caught up in
Yeah.
like the social, because it's such a big like platform for Instagram and just the way it is.
Let me ask you this, Oscar, because I want to know from your standpoint, being young, coming from this generation, right? Let's just go TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all right? So from your perspective, you know, because I just feel like I'm on Instagram a lot. I have a TikTok, but I don't really use it. But when I'm on TikTok, I just feel like, man, it's like anything goes on TikTok. Like it's crazy.
Right.
What, you know, when I'm not on TikTok a lot, but when I have those moments where I'm like, oh shit, like, and then when I'm on Instagram, it's kind of different. And then Facebook for me is more like, I don't know, it's like more older.
Older. Yeah, that's the old people.
Yeah.
That's what I say. All the old people's on Facebook, whatever.
For you, right, being somebody trying to market yourself, how do you see each platform? And for you, what is the best platform right now at this moment that you think can, you know, really help your career out of those three?
TikTok. And as much as like, because
Interesting.
I don't like being on TikTok. I don't even go like I don't go on TikTok because it's just like,
And it's about to get banned.
and it's, that's about to get banned.
Right.
Damn.
But it's like I don't go on there often because I feel like it's just I don't know. It was something, I think it was during senior year in high school that I was seeing how like these people are so easily influenced by whatever is trending on TikTok.
They're doing the dance moves.
Yeah, and it's like it kind of changed my perspective on it. I was like, I don't want to be like just a product of what just being, you know what I mean? So it's like
it could jumpstart you though.
yeah, no,
I know it
that's
does.
the thing,
And that's
though.
why it's
and it's because like when I was starting to produce, I was on TikTok a lot. Like that was just a kid. I was scrolling all the time, you know. And I remember one thing though that I did notice is that I kind of knew what would what would go viral just because I was on there so much. And I started posting like little beat videos. And it was like I knew how to approach it because I was on there so much, and they would go like 30K, 40K like views. You know, so it's just like
because that's how Drifty J. Remember when he was on our show? That's what got him kind of sparked. You know what I mean? TikTok can spark your career. You know what I mean? But
it's definitely it's like it has. You have to have a balance. If you have to. I think if you're not approaching it in a creator, like if you're not approaching it as a creator or in a business perspective, then it's a you're
gonna get lost in that shit.
It's bad.
No, I watch a lot of podcasts in general myself, just because obviously I'm in this space now, so I'm always like trying to learn and listen, and I like listening to other podcasts too, but I definitely listen. So many podcasters are able to basically create their own content and shows from content from TikTok because some of that stuff is so crazy and out there. I remember there's this one lady I like watching on TikTok. It's one of the few people I do watch, but she's pretty funny. She goes like, she always starts her video off. She goes, everybody's so creative, and then they show like these people cooking terrible shit, and she's like commenting while they're cooking terrible things, and she is hilarious. I cannot remember this black lady's name, but it's like, I'm like, where does she find these cook videos? Because it's like, it's the worst crap
like
people cook. Yeah, they cook out. I'm like, what are you cooking? Like this one lady put like hamburger meat with Skittles and
I see those videos.
It was terrible. Oh, it was terrible.
And it's gross. And then like they'll have somebody commentating. And be like, oh, nice, that looks amazing.
Yeah,
delicious.
and she's like, doesn't this look delicious? Something you would never eat, but especially different. Like
that shit goes viral.
She is hilarious, bro. If you watched her, she's funny, and so it's like
I'm scared.
But it's like if you find your niche, bro, it can help you grow, man. So it's man, it is interesting in this day and age.
It's been weird because I feel like I'll post the same videos, like I'll post a TikTok, right? And I'll post that same exact video on Instagram, and it'll do better on Instagram than my TikTok.
Yeah,
like way better than my TikTok. And I'm just like,
you really got to figure out that algorithm. And there's people, I mean, they make whole YouTube channels on how to figure out these algorithms and all that stuff. I don't know. Again,
I think though, like it comes back to like if you're on there constantly, then you like I think it's easier to figure out when you're on there constantly. Because if I use the same formula that I used to make my old videos blow up, now it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah, so it's like
it's always changing and evolving, and it's, you try to.
You have to be like on there consistently to like keep up.
Yeah,
and it's just
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Oh.
No, well, I got maybe one or two more topics before you get out of here. The biggest thing I was going to ask you was obviously, and we kind of talked about it vicariously through a lot of what we talked about, but how much is just like you said, your family and everyone's been supportive of you and your career, and you know had your back on it. Like, you know, obviously we all know as men, and you being a young man, like it's the people around us that help create us. You know, this whole misconception of like self-made. No one's self-made. You know what I mean? You have people who are in your corner, who believe in you. Obviously, it starts with yourself, but of course, there's people like for instance, for me, just my own anecdotal experience. There's no Chris Collins without Ken G. Right? You've heard me say that. I'm like, Ken believed in me. Shout out to Ken, old Chinese guy who believed in me and helped me to empower me to what I am today. So who would you say those people are for you?
Definitely my brother, Mark, my parents. I honestly, like, I feel so blessed, and I'm grateful every day for even through the best. I'm grateful for the support system that I have, because like I know even going to meeting people in this industry, like having a support system like that is rare. And I think you know, just my brother Mark and my parents are very like, well, I technically like my whole family really is. You know, I'm grateful for everything they've, you know, like taught me and everything they pushed me towards. And they told me, like, you know, if you really because the music, I think the music event, like, it speaks for itself. If you listen to it, like, over time, it's only gonna get better as the more I continue to do it and just keep going. And my parents and my family, they all just tell me, just keep going, like, just keep going, don't stop.
Yeah.
And I think them putting that belief in me just like helped me, like you're saying. So it's it's really just this is the support system right here.
Yeah, no, and that's great. I mean, obviously, where would you like to see yourself, when you're 27, 28 years old? What version or who is that Oscar when you're at that point?
I think 27, 28-year-old Oscar is probably going to be spending a lot of time with his family.
All right, good.
Okay. It's just spending a lot of time with his family. Probably a little more tucked away at that point.
Okay.
I've gone through my young 20s already. I'm thinking 20s. I went through all my 20s. I wilded out for...
As you should. Yeah, you should.
The next 3 to 4 years, you're about to be wilding out.
Yeah,
the next
go have
I
fun.
have to, but I think at 27, 28, I'll be a little more tucked away. Hopefully, got a large portfolio of real estate investments.
Good.
And,
smart way to think.
Have my money diversified.
Where would you like your career to be? Where would you like that to be?
I think by 27, 28, I'll still be making music. I think I'm going to be making music for the rest of my life. I know I'm going to be making music for the rest of my life. So, 27, 28, hopefully still putting out projects, still going on tour, still, hopefully the residuals of all the work that I put in till then it will let me live the rest of my life, financially free. And,
Yeah. Oh, no, trust me. If you can make some money, do it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
make some money, do it. Mark, did you have any other thoughts or anything?
Well, I want to ask G, like, for you, like, I remember, the days of when you brought him to me and, we were trying to work him out and seeing him now where, like I said, like he's really locked in. How do you feel seeing his growth from a little baby to your little brother to a teenager to now where, again, like I said, he's, I feel like, it's just a matter of time, How do you feel?
It's a little different because I went through phases where I was around and I wasn't around.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't around when he was basically up to a freshman.
What's you guys' age difference?
16 years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
wow.
So when I came back and I saw him as a freshman, 8th grader going to freshman, I was like, oh my goodness, you've grown up so much, you're so big,
Right.
this, and that. Now that I'm kind of with him on a daily basis, I bet the relationship is just different. I know his like Mark will with some of his players. I'll call him out on, like, you getting your shots up, basically. Are you doing your drill work?
Right,
Are you
right.
doing this? I think he's obviously way ahead of a lot of kids his age, and I always have to, like, go back to the fact, like, okay, he's in a good spot for where he's at. Yeah. And try not to be harsh on him, and try to kind of, like, I won't say bite my tongue because he's got to take a lot of lumps on his own. Yeah. And it's like telling him, like, you keep going that way, you're going to catch a fat lump. You keep doing that, you're going to catch, and, you know, and it's hard. And I know for him, it's probably hard to hear that coming from me because, I mean, shit, my life, like, when I was single, no kids, hooping, I figured out late, I got to be doing 3 days.
Yeah.
I got to be doing 4 days.
Right.
I figured that out late. And by the time I figured that out, the trajectory of what I had done, it took a different turn. I had a son that had medical needs, and I had to leave Mexico. I left my team at a time when it was probably the best situation basketball-wise I had ever been on. Our games are finally going to be on television. Everything's going to be, like, crispy. We got a banner of ourselves hanging outside. All right, it's go time, and then I had to leave.
Much respect for that.
I had to split.
Yeah.
I mean, my son was born in Mexico.
Okay.
So I had to bring him over, and I have to. So back to your question, I've taken so many lumps. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me sometimes to like disassociate and not be like, bro, like you need to do. You know what I mean?
You gotta let him go through it, right?
Right. Because the age difference, it kind of creates a barrier, which I'm sure a lot of parents that coach their kids struggle and tell you guys about. They won't listen to me. I try to tell them this, but if you tell him the same thing, he's gonna listen to you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's a different voice,
and I have to, and because I even noticed it, the receptiveness of when I'm around all the time, as opposed to like, okay, now I'm dipped, you know, and I come back, and the receptiveness is so different. Because it's easy to get someone excited about, you know, you're gonna be a point guard next year.
Right.
You can work on your handles like this and that. What's gonna happen week 3? Week 6, waking up 6 a.m. You're like, fuck. And like that point guard position is like, you know, so to me, you know, and we have different goals now. His goal is all music stuff. My goal is like more like get my family and my, you know, my businesses to where we can spend time with our families and watch him.
Of course.
You know, I'm sure you guys kind of like, you know, so.
Oh, I'm thinking of retirement.
So, right. So for him, you know, for me to see him, like I have to kind of tone it back, but he's grown a lot. Grown a lot. I've noticed it. Shit. After we're done here, we're gonna play some shit, unreleased shit for Chris. So he can see.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Look forward to that.
His growth is, man. I mean, shit, we've seen it, bro.
Yeah.
He went, and it's funny because I'll bring this up. So Woodland right now, I don't know who's coaching Woodland High. I know my boy Joe Munoz. He's got a good thing going on over there. WDLD, shout out to him because he's trying. He's trying, and they have a team there. But shit, when me and Mark, we didn't bring this up, but we were training him as a freshman. They were there, don't come around here with that GGT shit. Hey, come around. I don't know what your brother's teaching us, but this is how we do shit here in Woodland. We ain't gonna be competitive. We gonna lose by 20.
Right? In Woodland.
There was times where like
that's crazy.
There was one time actually specifically where we were playing. I forget who we were playing, but it was a home game. My brother was there, and he tells me, he pulls me to the side like after a play. He's like, hey, bro. He's like, just get low, have your hands up.
Right.
Like something simple. He's like, get low, have your hands up, make him change directions like 4 or 5 times. He's gonna lose it. He can't do it with the left hand. I'm just like, all right, bet. And then I get over there and then get to the huddle and he's like, Coach is, I'm not gonna say a name, but he's like, I don't know what the fuck your brother's telling you. You need to stop fucking listening. You need to, this, I don't know what your brother's telling you.
Like I'm trying to win, dude.
Yeah, and it was just like
ego.
Yeah, you deal with that. I know exactly a lot about that.
Yeah, and it was, you know, the basketball thing for him, it was fun because I asked him, I was like, bro, I can sit in the stands and like shut my mouth.
I loved it,
watch.
bro. I loved it.
I'll sit there and shut my mouth and just watch, and like, I'll be as involved as you. And he told me, oh no, come to the side and tell me, bro. You know, Georgie. I learned this shit from Georgie at ARC.
Right.
I learned this shit back then. It kind of clicked. This motherfucker was on the sidelines, and he got us to listen to him. It was like playing a video game for him.
Right.
Telling, okay, now go screen over there. Okay, you're gonna pop on this way. He's gonna be wide ass open. Run the play, boom, bucket. And
that's what you like right there.
And so like for me, you know, like I would try to do that with him. It was fun because went to Pioneer, the coaches at Pioneer didn't give a fuck if I was yelling at them. Because they knew me, they respected like the level of basketball. You know what I mean?
You know the game and you played it.
Right. This guy, I don't know. Fucking Woodland High.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. They went viral. Oh my bad. They went viral overtime for cutting people, like undercutting shooters.
Oh, I remember that,
bro. Right, you got Mikey Williams commenting on that. You got all these like man,
that's
that's what's wrong with basketball, and these kids are probably proud of it.
Yeah. Wow,
Woodland High. But all love to Woodland. All love to Woodland High. All love to Woodland. I wish coaching paid. I would go take over that program.
Right.
If coaching paid, I would want to. You know,
it don't.
And then the stress that comes with it too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then parents make it worse.
Oh, right. That's what the stress that comes with it. I don't know how you do it, man.
Trust me. There's
different.
Days. Yeah, there's days I just say, all right, well, whatever. I think I've built such a tolerance to it all, I guess. You know, I think it's even weird that for me, I'm numb to like kids leaving at this point. Like there's kids I'll coach from 4th grade, 5th grade. They become sophomores in high school. So you're talking about 5 to 6 years of pouring and investing in the kid, and they'll just leave. And because
so and so told them to get an offer or look at
you know, or they want to play on the circuit. And my thing is, okay, you want to play on the circuit, cool. My teams are on the circuit, right? But they don't want to play against those top guys. They want to be with them. And I'm like, I just don't understand.
Generation, man.
It's more of a feat if you fuck.
If you bust their ass, right?
Everyone's gonna be like, "Who's that?"
Exactly, but that's just not what it is anymore.
Those guys go, they put on a show.
You gotta
and then your player that's trying to coattail is gonna go get scrub minutes.
Yeah,
and then parents are gonna complain about
why
I'm not even in AAU basketball. Right. I just see it. I'm like,
it's insane. I don't understand it. It's like, why don't you want to go at those guys and prove you're better than them? Exactly. You know, and like I again, it's just strange. It's just a strange cultural thing. I have parents tell me in one breath, you know, my kid's not selfish. It's not about him. He wants to be a team player. He wants to pass the ball. But then the kid will text me, I want to go to a program where I get more touches and the balls ran through me. And I'm like, do you understand you two are contradicting? Something's not communicating right, because you're telling me that's not who he is, but he is literally directly texting me this is who he is. You know, so
I want to get buckets.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But they're like, but my son is not selfish. Oh, okay. Like, well, somebody's not being honest here. So I've just learned, you know, even like before the show when I was showing y'all that 6th grade group, you know, my parents will always ask me kind of like, you know, I'm close with my parents. I end up be real, I end up falling in love with my kids and loving the parents, because you'll really get to know these people inside and out, the relationships, right? But I've learned I always have to keep them at arm's length. And a lot of them will ask me, why do you do that? Like, you know, when we're about to eat, you know, like when we go out, we go on trips, right? I try to arrange things to where the kids and the parents have an outing. We go somewhere, bowling or eating together, whatever. I do that because I want that family feel for my teams. However, this is where I keep my distance. Like, I'm sitting at my own table while the rest of everybody else is around. Of course, parents will come over and talk to me for a second, but I'm still distant. And they ask me, why do you do that? And I said, because ultimately I know you can leave at any point. And I have to do that to protect myself. And that's what's hard and strange about AAU now, that coaches and directors, I have to like protect my own feelings, because I know at some point they'll leave, or they could leave. And of course they'll always say the right things, you know, it's not you, you're an amazing coach, everything you do is great, we love you, you're spectacular, but we're leaving. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? So I've really grown numb to it. And I don't know if I could ever even go back to the other way. Like, you know, I used to be like really, really invested in the kids, and it would really bother me. Like when they left, I would really feel like a slap in the face. Now I just expect it.
It's crazy.
Right? So I don't know if that's ever going to shift. I mean, again, it just seems like loyalty's not a thing.
Tough, man. I'm listening to him, and, you know, I always say this, like that's why I like what I do so much, from a standpoint of like, that's cool.
The training side.
Yeah, like you can play at that AAU team, at that high school,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when I hear you like that and remembering that summer, you know, because again, like I felt like, you know, like the parents were talking to me different, because now I'm over here controlling their minutes, who's playing. I'm not just in the lab trying to get them better. So, yeah, man, I give you props, man. You special, you different.
So that's one word for it. Or I'm crazy. I don't know either one. I'm gonna figure it out. Now, well, I guess my last thing before we get out of here, Oscar, if I want you to speak on, you have a kid listening, you know, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16, 17, whatever, aspiring musician, artist, what's your words of wisdom for him or her?
I would say continue to make the music that you enjoy and that you have fun making, And if anybody tries to conform you into a certain don't let them box you in. Just keep doing what you love to do. Stay consistent with it, and don't give up.
Okay.
And you got any tips for any of these guys? Like a couple tips that were like what to look for, what to, whatever.
Tips: stay consistent with posting on social media. It's something I struggle with. Stay consistent with posting reels. The Instagram reels and the TikToks will change your life. Mm-hmm. They will be consistent with promoting it, but don't be scared to promote an old song. Don't be scared to promote a song, even if it's been out for a year. If it's been out for 2 years, just keep going. Don't give up on it.
Unreleased music. Unreleased music. Drop that shit.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, drop your music. Cause it's so easy to get caught up in it's not perfect. Yeah, it's not. It's never gonna be perfect. It is never gonna be perfect. And as much as you chase it, you can get to a certain point where it's close, but it's never gonna be perfect. So
Stop the cap.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. No, good. No, real talk. No, this is good stuff. Mark, you got anything else before we?
Well, I just just want to say thank you for being on the show. I think it's special that you guys both are on the show. Thank you, Chris. You know what I'm saying? I feel that, with the people that we've had on this show, from when it started with Marcus, MJ, I know we had Kendall, now we have Oscar, these kids coming from Fairfield, Woodland, Vacaville. Like I said, I think it's really special to know that, getting to see you guys evolve and really getting to see what the future holds for you, I think is very, very exciting. So I'm really excited for you and proud of you.
Thank you.
And then, do you have any words of wisdom or anything left before we get out of here?
No.
No. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you guys for taking the time to hang out with me this evening, and me and Mark. And Mark, again, appreciate that you're back.
Yeah, man.
And,
another one. Get another one going.
Yeah, no. If you made it to the end of the episode, you're a real one. I appreciate you. You're a real one.
For real.
We're hoping to get you more good guests. I got my boy Timo who wants to come on the show. He's just started an AAU program called The Lab. He's a coach at Endercombe High School in Atomas, and a former college teammate of mine. Still want to get Coach Patrick from Sac State on the show. Shout out to him. He says he's still down to do the show, just got to find time. Please feel free if anybody wants to be a guest. All my social media is obviously attached to the description, so is Mark's.
Sir.
I will also attach Oscar's social media as well, so go ahead, look him up, follow him, support him and what he's doing. And obviously I look forward to hearing more music from you. Everybody stay safe out there. Obviously, mental health's a real thing right now. Again, I know kids, I'm critical on you guys, but I do wish and hope the best for everybody out there. Everybody be safe. Mark, do you have any last thing? Are we good?
No, man, we good.
All right. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week or whatever, and come back to next episode. Hopefully we have some more fun stuff to talk about, and we are out.
Bros and we kicking it.
I like that.
Shit. About to start freestyling cause I don't care. Hold on. They see me walking down the street. I said don't stare. I said we really gotta go and put that work in. It's all gonna be working. Lately I've been grinding. It's not gonna be perfect. Yeah. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. I love that, man.
I love that.
Let's go.